But a lot of humans, they do suck at hiring because
So
we have
that's-
bias. We have human bias.
But
and
that's
I
that's
suck
the
at
conundrum.
hiring.
But this is the conundrum, though.
yeah.
So this is the thing that's like weird now. Just for this part of it is my reflex when I hear something like that is to go, oh no, this is not good. How can you have AIs screening people's interviews? But then on the other hand, I go, if you have 100,000 people applying to a job, let's be honest. I don't think there's any human who's going to get through those 100,000 applications. I don't think there's any humans. And I wouldn't be shocked if there were like a bunch of humans who were skipping through this before because they were just like, it's like auditions in a way. At some point, the person's tired.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
you want to get them when they're fresh. You want to get them when they're in the mood.
Yeah, not when
And
they're hungry.
I wonder, is there a world where, like, does the AI make it better then?
You know, I wish I could tell you that.
So we don't know.
We don't know. I've asked many companies to let me come in as a researcher and like sort of look at like, here's your traditional way of hiring, here's your AI hiring, and have this like run at both times, and then sort of double check, like, you know, the people that the AI said that would be high performers, did they actually turn out to be high performers? And I have not seen a company do this or want to share this with me or with anyone. I think it's because, I don't know, there's like a lot of turnover in HR, like these processes don't work that well. And I think what we already know, so what we know from a survey of C-suite leaders, like sort of leadership in companies of over 2,000 in Germany, the UK, and the US, when they asked them if your company uses AI tools, do they reject qualified candidates? And almost 90% of the leadership said yes. So they know that their tools reject qualified candidates. They still use it because I guess the efficiency from using AI versus humans, it's just much, much more greater. But it's not that we know that one process is better than the other. I mean, we do know that like humans are very biased in hiring, and even the best anti-bias training is not going to get out of it. And, you know, we all know the shortcuts, right? If you see somebody on your resume that they went to Harvard, you're like, oh, they must be smart. No,
they're not.
Probably.
Eugene, I feel like you just did like going down a rabbit hole. This episode, Eugene Koza learns about the world. She's like, wait, what are you telling me? But you go, you know. So this is where I feel like we stumble on the first conundrum. Generally, machines like predictability.
Yes.
Right. Algorithms like predictability. That's what an algorithm is fundamentally sort of trying to do.
It finds like patterns, and you know,
and a pattern is a predictability, right? The conundrum or the paradox of being human is that the biggest breakthroughs that have come from humanity have often come from the pattern breakers. The person who didn't think correctly, the person who didn't fit the algorithm, the person.
The outliers.
Outliers. So I wonder if companies in moving all of their resources towards efficiency and pattern recognition might go the opposite direction of innovation, because it's almost like the misfits and the mistakes are sometimes the ones who give you the biggest blips. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
I feel like the solution has caused a problem. Well, we were speaking about how many people had applied to Goldman Sachs, and I think if it wasn't for technology, would you still get that many applications?
That's interesting.
Would 100,000 people from all over the world show up at the address to put in their resume? So I think technology also allowed easy access, because I also think there's people who know they don't qualify but would do it anyway. So why would you put a human through all of this? But also I think it's a box ticking exercise for some companies as well. I think some companies don't want to hire anybody, but they'll just put out a thing that says we want to hire somebody. Then they'll end up doing the internal process anyway, because if you're going to trust people with people's monies and files and information, you'd want someone that you know. So I think companies know exactly what's going on, but they're just sending out hope. And I think once you advertise a job, it's a great way to advertise your company as well.
Yeah. I mean, sort of like people online, you know, they often joke, because obviously some people are very aware that companies use AI, and now a lot of, you know, I think it felt very like passive and sad for a lot of applicants until sort of LLMs and ChatGPT and other AI came around. Where now it's like much easier for me as an applicant to generate a resume. There's actually now
it's AI warfare.
Yes, it is AI
because
versus
it's like,
AI.
I'm going to use the AI to apply for the job. They're going to use the AI to grade me. I'm going to use the AI to pass the grades.
Yes.
Then they're going to.
I'm going to try to use AI to like outsmart the AI. There's actually AI programs that now apply for you. So you don't even have to do anything. So there's all kinds of stuff. But like the question is like, well, what are we then doing here? Like,
what are we?
Yeah, what are we doing? That is a great question.
That becomes the question. What are we doing? Because if the AI is hiring the people who are using the AI to get the job, that the AI has hired the people, then that's what I mean is like we have to ask the fundamental question, wait, what was the point of this process in the first place? Because multiple studies have shown humans are terrible at predicting the future, especially when it comes to hiring, right? A lot of the time when you're hired because the person sitting across from you saw something in you that they considered correct for the company. But a lot of the time it's just wrong. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's wrong. And then people don't do well and they go like, well, that didn't work. But the prediction is wrong. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so now I almost feel like we forgot what the whole point of an interview was. Like I'm not a historian, but if I was to bet, I would think an interview was just to be like, let me see what your vibe is.
It was a vibe check.
It was a vibe check.
Yeah. But it turns out like vibe checks, not so great actually. Like because you...
At predicting who's a good employee.
Yeah, but also like a vibe check is like finding people who like are often like have the same background as you. They speak like you. They vibe with you.
Exactly.
So you find the same people again.
Yes.
Which, we kind of know that like diversity is good for companies. Also, like, I mean, I think that's why we have, fewer women, people of color in leadership positions, because we have underestimated them as humans in hiring for decades and promotion decisions. So we have like sort of a lack of diversity already because of human bias and sort of the vibe.
Yeah,
When you come to a job interview, you want nothing more but like somebody, like the HR manager or the hiring manager to like you. And then you start talking about like, well, what school did you two go to? Like, what did you?
Shirts, boy,
you
it's
like this?
on.
You like this? Sports team, yada yada yada. And that chit chat feels like very good for humans to make a human connection.
Yes.
But it's actually really bad because that what brings the bias in. Because now as a hiring manager, I'm like, oh man, you went to the same school as me. It's so cool. I see you in a completely different light than other people. And I'm supposed to look at like, what are the capabilities and like your skills that you need for the job? Not if we went to the same school, but we as humans do that. And that's where like a lot of the bias comes in. The unfortunate thing is you might think, well, AI is like a pattern machine that just finds patterns, right? And it will just look at your like capabilities, your skills, and find the most skilled person.